Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD. And today we are going to be reviewing and analyzing chapter 319 of My Hero Academia, aka Friends. If this is your first time checking out my channel, if you've been here before, I would greatly love and appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, bang that bell, would be doing me a tremendous solid. So thank you so much. And without much further ado, let's get into this, John.
頑張れそう頑張れ諦めないで口笛吹きさ歩き出そうよ Going now
All right, yeah, 319 of My Hero Academia, and I'm super excited because everything I've been predicting for the last few weeks is finally coming to fruition here. I knew Class 1A would not take this standing. I said the moment that Deku sent all those letters out that they weren't going to accept it, and I'm finally happy that we're finally, seeing that side of things. Like, let's be real, guys, this Dark Deku arc has been cool or whatever, but like this isn't how the story's supposed to go. This isn't how things should be. If you've been enjoying it, that's cool and whatnot. I enjoyed it too, but it was, pretty much a what if. This has been an opportunity for the mangaka to show, okay, let's show Deku being a lone knight, just doing things on his own, being like super cool, badass. No longer crybaby Deku, like a completely different personality. Let's just get to see Deku wild out for a bit, and we got to see that for a bit. We got to enjoy ourselves for a bit, but I don't know about you, but the character I fell in love with, the character I like is Midoriya. That's who I like, and that's who my heart has grown fond of, and like his personality and his dreams. That's what I want. And I read a comment in the bottom of the chapter, and someone was like, "You don't become All Might to get everyone's admiration or something like that." Or to be no, you don't become All Might to be acknowledged by everyone. You become All Might once everyone acknowledges you, or something like that. So I really do think that that was a really good comment, and I do think that like that's what Deku needs to hear right now. The fact that he's putting all of this weight on himself is far too much. I know a lot of them are saying like he's doing it like All Might, but like I've said several times in my other reviews, All Might didn't do things by himself. He usually always had people involved. A bunch of really close heroes knew about his one for all secret, and yeah, like I don't think he just went out rogue like this. I think there was constantly like I think there were times where people couldn't keep up. Don't get me wrong. I do think there were times where people could not simply keep up, but I do not think that All Might ever actively just kind of abandoned, said fuck you to everyone. So the story starts off a few days after Midoriya leaves UA, and pretty much Class 1A decides to have a meeting, and they're pretty much all discussing the letters Deku sent them. And I called from the jump that they wouldn't accept them. Like, let's be real, guys. If someone you considered a best friend, not necessarily a classmate, but like someone you considered a really, really good friend that you shared bonds with, that maybe like you can either think about it as like a best friend, or someone like you guys are in, like, I don't know, uh police academy, or like me with my taekwondo, like someone that you've went through hard arduous experiences with, and that you always thought like you guys would have each other's backs, just decides, hey, I'm out of here. I have other things to do. I don't want to put you guys at risk. I gotta do this alone. You wouldn't accept that, because at the end of the day, if you're friends with someone, if you care about someone, or you go through something with someone, you want to be there for them. You want to support them, and you want them to believe and trust in you. At least that's my opinion. You might disagree with that. That's fine. But basically, they said what I thought they would say, and they're just like, hell no, we won't go. Like, they're obviously really hurt. There's a mix of feelings. Like, honestly, I think the main thing is both a combination of frustration, sadness, and maybe a little bit of like anger and resentment at the fact that Deku decided on his own, without really talking to them, without having a conversation with them, without having, the decency to confront them that, hey, I do not see you guys as value enough, in the capacity enough, to help me. And that's what sucks, because think about it. as like Luffy going to fight a boss and telling his crew to stay behind. And when I say fight a boss, I'm not talking about like when he goes in 1v1s and he's like, all right, guys, stay back. I'm talking about like he goes on a whole mission, like he goes to Wano or he goes about somewhere else and like, or like he goes against the boss and the boss has underlings and he doesn't want his crew involved because he's like, I don't want you guys to get hurt. Or, you know, Naruto tells like the other ninjas. It doesn't make sense because they chose to be pirates. They chose to be ninjas. UA, the 1A, class 1A, they chose to be heroes. This is what they want to do. They went into this knowing. They went into this knowing that their lives are at risk, that they may potentially forfeit their lives, but that is their choice because they are heroes. That's what they picked to do. And so for them to be treated like pretty much like, you know, civilians as like, you know, second class citizens in terms of this has to weigh heavily on them. And then you have people like Bakugo and Shoto who that have really, really, really close relationships with Deku. You have people like Ochaku. I probably butcher that name. I haven't said her name in forever. I always get circumvented by saying Uravity. But yeah, you have people like Uravity who obviously is his love interest, is obviously like his Hinata of this series. And like who and someone that not just deeply cares about him, but you know, obviously loves him, and like that's gonna be like, you know, who he ends up with in the future. But like you can't do that to people like that. And so yeah, I really like that section. Oh, by the way, speaking of Uravity, I don't know what it is about her new artwork. Maybe I just haven't seen her in a while, but she looks really different. She's always been cute, like that was her whole thing, but she looks a little bit more pretty now. I think there's like more of an oval to her. Like I don't know what he did, but the mangaka definitely changed up his drawing style with her. Her hair is definitely longer. I think he might have made her a bit bustier, so she looks a little bit different. I like the new character design, if there is one. I could be making it up. So yeah, all of them were talking about it, and they're like, well, we're trying to get our hands on Deku. They've contacted Hawks, they've contacted Genus, they've contacted Endeavor. No one's getting back to them, which only heightens their suspicion. Only heightens their suspicion. So there goes that. So they decide to, you know, to force the issue. Like that's what they literally say, and they get what's his name, Nezu, the principal, to get Endeavor to call in. Now we don't really know how he got him in. We just know he was tricked. So maybe, you know, Nezu was like, oh, I have information on All For One and like, or blah, blah, blah. There's something vital I need to tell you, or UA's in danger. I don't know, some shit along that degree. Sorry. My nose is very like snuffy right now. Anyway, something along that degree, and he gets Endeavor in. And basically Endeavor is bombarded by all the students of UA. And I think it's just one of those things where like when out of sight, out of mind, you can kind of ignore people if you're not in front of them. But when you're in front of them and like their emotions and feelings are reaching to you and you can see their faces and you can see the not only the desperation, but the tenacity and the like, you know, the sheer willpower on their faces. I think it was really hard for him to kind of just deny them of that and deny them of the ability to help their friend. And the thing with Endeavor is he really is trying to be like a changed person, a new person. He's trying to fill in this role of the number one hero, and honestly, let's be real, he's been failing at it. So I think that for him to like kind of just be like, no, I'm not going to help you, to be typical Endeavor, I think he's done with that. I think he's like, no, I can't, like I'm done being an asshole, and like I see where you guys are coming from, and also I see the fact that like even All Might can no longer like contain or control Deku. Deku's just doing his own goddamn thing, and so you know what? Maybe it is time for you guys to step in because we're losing control. And so so he looks like, at first I was confused. I thought that possibly like 1A like jumped him and like snatched it, maybe especially the invisible girl. But no, it looks like he like chucked the phone, so it could be like I didn't really give it to him. I like dropped my phone or whatever. And so that was really good. So now we know exactly how the 1A found him. Now the one question I do have two other questions. First of all is what were they doing in the time period? Because like we said, that was a few days after Deku left. And from what I remember, maybe I messed up, but like it's been like at least 6 months since he's been superheroing on his own. Meanwhile, classes have been suspended, so sucks for them. They're about to pull a Naruto and be like Genin forever. So, but that was interesting. But yeah, what have they been doing in these 6 months? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to assume training. So the one thing is, it's one thing to be upset that Deku doesn't see you guys as useful enough. He's like what's the word I'm looking for? Baggage. Just gonna weigh heavily on them. And so the one thing they all probably know in their head is we don't want to just rush out to him as we are now. Because like all that will do is prove his point that like, hey, you know, this is why I wanted you guys to stay back. You're not ready. And so I think that during those 6 months between when they got the phone and all that, blah, 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 what they were doing was training super heavily. Like I cannot wait to see what the new stuff they've mastered is how their teamwork has improved and just how they've improved as individuals. So I'm very excited to see that. The other question I have is in the previous chapter, no previous two chapters or one chapter, the vestiges of One for All were like there's something we can do. There has to be something we can do. And so a bunch of people were speculating that like the movies being canon that maybe that they can contact Bakugo. Maybe I said maybe they through All Might got his classmates because All Might was realizing that he was losing a handle on Midoriya, and that Midoriya needed to realize that he can't do things by himself and that he needs his friends to support him. So I was thinking something along those lines. But for it to be something as simple as a GPS, I really like that. Like if you guys are familiar with Occam's razor says that the most likely possibility, the most simple and most probable is the most likely possibility essentially. And so for it to be that simple makes a lot of sense to me. If it was on one for all abilities, it would have been a little bit more convoluted. Would have been a little bit more like eh. That being said, though, what were they referring to in terms of maybe we can help him? Very, very curious about that. Also, I'm still curious about what the relationship between the second and Bakugo is. Everyone has been speculating for quite some time that there is some kind of dynamic between them. They have similar costumes. They have similar, I think like scars and whatnot. Similar temperaments. So I'm curious to see if there is some relationship with that. Like I said in my last review, I do think that one and two, sorry, not one and two, two and three are the only like power kind of quirks, and for whatever reason, because of them and because of their power oriented quirks, that's why the rest of the vestiges have more support oriented quirks. There's going to be some story behind that, and I can't wait to get that. All right, so basically, anyway, we have 1A, all of them show up, and it's pretty much, hey, we're here to bring you back. It's pretty much the rescue Sasuke arc, pretty much the get our friend back arc. And it's something I do not like, I do not appreciate. I'll be super real if you happens. Deku wants to square up with them. Now, at first, before the very end and before I read the comments, because I really didn't think that there was going to be a fight, just because my head could not comprehend and process the fact that he'd be willing to fight his classmates over what, by the way, what's the point of this fucking fight? But yeah, he puts on his mask, which in my opinion was because he can't. It's a layer of protection, a layer of privacy, where like he can't stand to really see them. He can't stand to really face them. He doesn't want them to see him, so he's using that as a personal deflection for himself. And so he puts on his mask and he tells them to get out his way. He has things to do. So I thought, it'd be along the lines of like he's gonna try to run away. He's gonna try to blah blah blah, and they're gonna block him. They're gonna be like, no, you have to stay. And like I don't see him really attacking them because honestly, that would be such a breach of Deku's character. I still think this whole dark Deku thing is within character because he's doing it from a place of kindness. But the moment he starts laying hands on his friends, I think that's unforgivable. Obviously, we will forgive him, but like it will bother me tremendously and immensely if like he goes all out. Now, a lot of people are like, "There's nothing they can do." Not Bakugo. Deku knows 100% now. There's no way that anyone can keep up with him. No one can stand him. He's faster than Lita, probably stronger than Bakugo and all the rest of them. Blah 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 blah. And that might be true, but we have been seeing for the last several chapters that he has been working nonstop. He hasn't been sleeping. He's just been pushing himself, pushing himself, pushing himself. Just now, he was about to go out he was overwhelmed. Just now, he was overwhelmed by civilians. Now, there's the argument that, he wasn't really overwhelmed by the civilians. It's just that he couldn't hurt them because they're being controlled. And because of that, he kind of had to accept that. But Now I don't know. This time, one, he's not going to want to go all out because once again, they're his friends. They're his friends, and second of all, they've been training hard. They're all 1A, the best that UA has to offer. I think like most, if not all of them, have their provisional hero licenses. So these aren't just some run of the mill people. These are people that know what they're doing. And the one thing that Deku doesn't have that they have is teamwork. So if they do get into a fight, I just do see Deku losing to sheer exhaustion, not being able to focus, not being able to properly utilize his powers because he is tired. Also, his motivation is not going to be there because he's not going to want to hurt these guys. Once again, I do not want to fight between them. I do want a showcase of their new powers and abilities, and I do want like a heart wrenching moment where they're like, "Screw you, Deku. Who do you think you are that you could just leave us message in the middle of the night and leave? I thought we meant more to you." Like, I cannot wait to feel that. I cannot wait to get that. I thought we were going to get it more from Bakugo by himself for a little bit. I did say that the rest of UA would show up, but I did want Bakugo to have like a little bit of a one-on-one, like punches Deku, like, "What's wrong with you? You think you're so great, blah, blah, blah. I'm the one that's supposed to be act like just something like that, that like really brings everyone's characters to light and just like hits hard in your soul. So yeah, so yeah, really interesting chapter. Very excited. It's one of those chapters where I wasn't excited for the chapter itself, but what the chapter entails later. I liked earlier the whole UA might be the safest, even though that he's protecting the students and UA from all for one by staying away. That it might be the safest place. We had the safest place. We had a Hogwarts is the safest place moment. So that was kind of funny. I saw a lot of comments about that. That was cool. What else? Also that Nezu thinks that they have some kind of new barrier that will be super awesome. I don't see that working. The villains, let's be real, have broken it, have found them at every twist and turn and like broken every barrier, found a way to get around something here or there. So I don't think that's going to work. We still haven't figured out who the mole is. And personally, I don't really know if it's actually a mole. I've been seeing a lot of theories about that it could either simply be one of two things. Either the phone, like we've been seeing a lot of emphasis and paneling around the phone, so maybe simply he has like technomancy or something of that degree where he can hack the GPS. Maybe he doesn't even need quirks for it. Maybe he just has like a hacker. Another thing I heard is just purely because Deku has One for All and it used to belong to All for One. There's some kind of connection there, and maybe All for One can kind of detect and sense Deku's presence for that. Also, someone brought something up that actually I thought was a really good idea and kind of scared me. That now that Deku is weak and tired, All for One kind of predicted this. The dictator said that All for One predicted this, that you would be tired, you would start being tired, blah blah blah. You would be here, and this is our best opportunity. And now that Class 1A is all here, he has all these pieces he has all these pieces on the board all in one place. And especially if they all fight and they tire each other out, it would be a phenomenal opportunity for him to swoop in and take Deku. So yeah, very exciting chapter, a very, very good exposition, very good setup chapter. Cannot wait for next week's chapter. I don't believe there's a break next week, but I forgot to really check. But I'm just gonna believe in my heart of hearts there's no break next week. But yeah, guys, I really hope you like this review. I really hope you like this analysis. What do you guys think is going to happen? Are you excited for this fight between Deku and Class 1A? Are you like me? Are you hurt about it? Do you not really want it to happen? Are you kind of in the middle where like you don't want it to happen, but you kind of want to see you want to see everyone's kind of power scale is at, right? And what do you think is going to happen in the next chapter? Do you think this all a trap? Who do you think the mole is? And yeah, let's just leave it at that for now. Let's not do too much. Anyway, thank you for watching and tuning in. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. Each and every person that watches this and interacts with me, you guys mean so much to me, and you really do give what I do purpose. Like when I do feel like no one's watching this shit, blah blah blah. You guys prove to me that someone is, and I couldn't be any more thankful. By the way, I'm really getting my Twitch grind up and running, so please feel free to check that. I'm looking into a new editor and graphic designer for stuff, so hopefully I get a lot more stuff going now. Oh, this guy named Totally Not Mark just released a phenomenal phenomenal One Piece video about his end of series theory for One Piece. It kind of aligns with some thoughts I had about mine. I hope to release a video half as good as his one day. I'm going to be trying to do that soon. I get super nervous, and like, you know, there with the Mr. Morges out there, the Tekkings and the Joy Boy theories and all the people out there who do it so well. I've just always been a rambler. I do not like sitting down and just like like you just planning stuff. I do have to, if this is something I want to do, it's something I'm gonna have to learn how to do. But check out that video. I left a comment on there, see if you can find it with my pieces of my theory, not quite fleshed out, but it's there. But yeah, guys, anyway, if you liked, please if you know, like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Check out my Twitch. I finally have 50 followers. I need 3 average viewers. I'd appreciate it. The games I play right now are League of Legends, Genshin Impact, and I'm thinking about getting into Final Fantasy, even though our RPGs aren't really my thing like that. I prefer like different types of RPGs. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'm rambling, but yeah, this has been Otaku Talk. My name is OD. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.